Hey soldiers, Russia has confirmed that the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and we got 20 other applications of countries wanting to join that economic cooperative, they are coming out with a commodities-backed currency. Russia has announced this. They're having a meeting of the BRICS nations here soon, where I'm sure we'll get more information. Now, what commodities are they planning on including to back this currency? Is that possible even? Well, let's talk about it. Guys, go ahead and hit subscribe. Help me out. Hit that thumbs up too. Help this channel with the algorithm. We're fighting an uphill battle, guys, because we talk about things that the powers that be really don't want you talking about. This is why you tune in to channels like this on YouTube and alternative media. The news media is not talking about this, not in depth, no way, no how, because you're not supposed to know about it. So go ahead, in an act of defiance, hit the thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll tell you why you need to do that. You need to enlist and become a soldier of finance. So you hit that bell icon, and every time we drop a video, we've been doing a lot lately because there's a lot going on. This economy is evolving like nobody's business, and if you are not ready and aware of what's going on, you're going to get caught behind the 8 ball. So you need to subscribe. That way, when we issue a video, you'll be one of the first to know. Russia confirms BRICS will create a gold-backed currency. All right, so the gold market could see new bullish momentum as the world could see a new type of gold standard. Now, of course, if you invest in gold, then this may be good for you. Okay, if you hold gold as a central bank, and we have covered ad nauseum how the central banks have been buying gold at a prodigious clip, then it could be good for you too. Friday, according to state-run RT, let me stop right there. Russia Today, that's what RT stands for. Are they state-run? Probably. But we also need to put that preface in front of NBC, ABC, Fox, yes, even Fox, CBS, right? CBS, what an apt name for a news organization these days in America. One day we'll do some reporting on the church committee. You can look up the church committee at your leisure and understand why the media in America is state-run. Okay, so they're saying state-run before RT. They should say it before all of those news agencies that we have right here in America, especially Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, who does a lot of business with three-letter agencies here in America. New York Times, come on. Anyway, the Russian government has confirmed that Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, also known as BRICS nations, will introduce a new trading currency backed by gold. The official announcement is expected to be made during the BRICS summit in August of 2023, which will be held in South Africa. This is the exact same conference that we're getting a thunderstorm that Emmanuel Macron, France's president, wants to be a part of. He reached out to Ramaphosa, the head of South Africa, asked, "Hey, can I be invited? I'll sit in the corner quietly. I won't say a thing. Can I be invited to this meeting of the BRICS nations?" France, a NATO ally, a Western European power, may want to become part of the BRICS. Who knows? But Macron's got his hands tied up in some other things right now, trying to prevent a coup from going down in his own country, because the cops and the military are kind of pissed off the way he's handled the riots and the civil unrest over there. He actually went to an Elton John concert in the middle of that. I like Elton John, but some things take precedent over Elton John. He'll give more concerts. So we got this tweet here from Willem Middelkoop, who says, there you go, it's official. BRICS planning to introduce new trading currency backed by gold at August summit. Gold standard will be a great benefit to strengthening single currency. 41 countries, I was light, I said 20. 41 countries have applied for BRICS membership. Already, BRICS, their combined GDP has eclipsed that of the United States of America. So you add 40 more, good God almighty. The latest news is adding new momentum to the ongoing de-dollarization trend unfolding in the global economy. Since mid-2022, central banks worldwide have been buying gold at a historic pace, in part to diversify their reserve away from US dollars. Don't let anybody tell you that de-dollarization is not occurring. It is occurring in real time, and we've been chronicling it. Go back through the stack. We've got copious videos on this subject, giving you statistical fact about what is going on. When Kevin O'Leary comes out there and says, oh, nobody's moving away from the dollar, that's not true. I don't know what kind of interest he has in saying that, but it's demonstrably untrue. For many analysts, a gold-backed currency is the next evolution in this process. Many analysts have seen China's recent gold purchases as an attempt to bring international credibility to the yuan. At the same time, the U.S. government's weaponization of the U.S. dollar against Russia for invading Ukraine has created some geopolitical uncertainty among some nations allied with Russia. And it's not just Russia. The United States continues with sanctions on other countries and has even looked at certain African countries and said, we don't like your domestic policies. We don't like what your policies are toward your own people, so therefore we're going to sanction you. So not only is the United States demonstrating a willingness to get involved in the foreign policy of countries and then weaponize the dollar against them because they don't like that policy, but now they're doing the same in terms of domestic policy with these countries. Who's gonna sit around and put up with that? You got a lot of countries that are not even on the radar of sanctions saying, you know what, I'm not going to have the United States ruling what we do over here. Let's migrate. Hey, let's fill out one of those BRICS applications. Let's move forward with them and see what happens. Let's diversify. What's wrong with not having all your eggs in the basket labeled USA? While the prospect of a gold-backed BRICS currency will provide significant support to gold, some analysts expect that it will take time before the impact is felt in the market, and it is going to take time. They're going to introduce this thing, and who knows what will happen. Look at the euro, okay? That took a minute to catch on. It's had its ups, it's had its downs. This will be no different, and it will take time for it to catch on. Thorstein Polay, forgive me, sir, if I'm mispronouncing this. I'm going to call you Thorstein, I know that's right, Polay. He is a chief economist at Degussa, said that while the announcement is a step in the right direction, there is still a long way to go for it to become a reality. At first glance, a new transaction unit backed by gold sounds like good money, and it could be, first and foremost, a major challenge to the U.S. dollar's hegemony. Now, he said this to Kitco News in an exclusive. However, Pollier, calling him Pollier, added that the devil is in the details. For making the new currency as good as gold, a truly sound currency, it must be convertible into gold on demand. That's right. That note must be able to be turned in somewhere and say, I want my whatever this equals in gold, I want that in exchange for this piece of paper or this electronic, collection of, bytes on a ledger somewhere. I'm not sure whether this is what Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have in mind, he said. Using gold as money, the unit of account, would be a true game changer. No doubt about it. It could lead to a sharp devaluation of many fiat currencies vis-a-vis the yellow metal, including the BRICS fiat currency, the dollar, the euro, the pound, and it could catapult up goods in terms of their prices, the price that they're charging in fiat currency. It could be a shock to the global fiat money system. I think it will be, all right, initially at least. I am not sure that this is what BRICS wishes to achieve. Pollier added that another option would be for the BRICS nations to create a new bank for financing foreign trade that would require holding gold as capital. Now, these nations are unique. This collection of nations is unique from a couple of very important standpoints. We'll go over in a second because we've gone over some of the pros. Let's go over some of the cons here. Against this gold stock, the new bank could say, grant financing loans to exporters and issue the new currency. Or BRICS exports will be sold against the new currency and or gold, he said. I think it is fair to say that it is early to come up with a final conclusion where this will lead us to. We need more details. Now, Nassim Aslam, Chief Investment Officer at Zay Capital Markets, said that while this could provide long-term support for gold, the precious metal continues to face short-term challenges, and that's fine. He added that despite the announcement, the world is still far from seeing a gold-backed currency. Let me tell you something about gold. Gold its value is stable. Its price relative to something like the dollar, yes, that changes. I'll go into that in a moment. Mr. Aslam goes on to say, but this doesn't mean this can't be achieved at all. The gold-backed currency. For now, any additional positive news on this could certainly help the gold price. But more importantly, traders are now going to be focused on the United States CPI data, which is due next week. What's CPI data? Consumer Price Index, inflation. All right, so if you go back to what I was talking about earlier with regard to gold being stable and the dollar or whatever you're measuring it against, that value is the fluctuating variable or the variable there. All right, so here's gold, okay, stable. Inflation's up. So that makes that gold, actually, when inflation goes up, gold looks good because it's a store of value, all right? It's preserving your purchasing power. So as the dollar fluctuates, stronger or weaker, you can understand that it's the one that is moving around. Gold is staying the same in relation to that measure, the dollar. You can measure the value of gold against many other things, especially oil, okay? One thing, some of these rare earth elements, doesn't necessarily have to be the dollar. The yuan, all right, the pound, the euro, doesn't have to be the dollar. We're just ensconced in that way of thinking because many of us are here in America in this audience, and we just so happen to also enjoy the world's reserve currency. All right, so here comes the cons, and other people are saying, wait just a minute, hold on, hold your horses. Talk of BRICS gold-backed currency seems like an echo chamber. They do not have the gold to back a currency meaningfully, said Mark Chandler, managing director of Bannockburn Global Forex, or foreign exchange. When you see Forex, it's kind of a abbreviation for foreign exchange. He says, have we not learned anything from the EMU experience of monetary union without fiscal union? Color me profoundly skeptical. Yeah, I would be too, but here's the unique thing about these countries. They don't have to just back it in gold. It could be a basket of commodities that they back this up against, because remember, we've got the OPEC nations who are either in this BRICS alliance or OPEC plus nations. Okay, so we got Saudi Arabia, who is the de facto leader of OPEC. Then we got Russia, who is an OPEC plus member. We got a lot of other nations vying to get into this, some of which produce oil, some of which produce, again, rare earth elements, all right, cobalt or other commodities. So who's to say you need to just back it with gold? If you start combining the aggregate gold and other resources that these countries have, then maybe you get up into the territory where you're saying, well, maybe we do have the commodities to meaningfully back this idea. Many analysts have been speculating about a new global currency to challenge the U.S. dollar's role as the world's reserve currency. In late March, former Goldman Sachs chief economist Jim O'Neill wrote in a paper published in the Global Policy Journal that the US dollar's dominance is destabilizing global monetary policy. He added that a BRICS currency challenging the US dollar's dominance would bring stability to the global economy. Whenever the Federal Reserve has embarked on periods of monetary tightening or the opposite, loosening, the consequences on the value of the dollar and the knock-on effects have been dramatic, he said. Now, he kind of echoes what we've heard from Janet Yellen, saying that the dollar is going to face competition. All right, so the U.S. government is actually coming out and admitting that. What do you need to do? Okay, or what should you think seriously about doing? Well, number one, you might want to start researching gold, okay, because it's no secret that gold is being looked at more prominently in terms of it being an investment alternative here. More people are glomming on to that idea. In fact, if we go and we look at what the central banks have done here in the last month or so, 8 central banks, including China, have increased their gold holdings. Okay, so these are the numbers for May. We've got China increasing. China is a charter member of BRICS, right? We also have, let's see, who is it? So we got the Chinese. Turkey sold 160 tons of gold since March, but who they sold it to is important. They put it out on their open market. So their citizens are actually able to buy more gold. Poland was the biggest buyer in May, adding 19 tons of gold to its reserves. All right, so other alternatives that you might want to consider are hard assets. Again, I harp on this. It's like pizza. There's only really so many ways you can have it, all right? So there are some things that you should seriously think along the lines of, like hard assets. Real estate is another one. Somebody mentioned this. Well, you know, the government can always seize your real estate. Yeah, that is possible. More so in some countries than others. Here in America, we do have, you need to go through the eminent domain process for that. And you're supposed to be compensated justly for that. But it would help if you go to your county and look at the 5 and 10-year plans to understand what the county is thinking about doing with maybe the land that you want to buy. Because if you see that they got some mixed use development coming soon, then yeah, whatever you buy might be subject to that. But if you're off the beaten path, if you're not right off I-95, then it's a good possibility that the government and commercial interests won't give a damn about your land where you're growing food for your family, or where you're using it to rent to a farm, or you're farming, or renting it to a data center, or a solar panel operator, on and on and on. Okay, so you need to seriously think. And look, guys, I firmly believe we got about 10 years to make this happen. One day more, and I think it's going to be, a struggle for people to really build wealth after that, the way we are going, and that is just the reality. So if you're watching this video, you're perfectly positioned to be able to do that. The generations to come, well, the world becomes more theirs with each passing day than it does ours, so I'm sure they will figure it out. In the meantime, watch this video. Now, we talked to you just a moment ago about how Janet Yellen is saying that she's a government official, Secretary of the Treasury, and she's saying, yeah, the dollar's about to get some competition. So don't necessarily take the, oh, all's well, everybody else's, the sky is falling. No, we've now got government officials saying, hey, this is happening. So you guys in the proletariat who may not know who Janet Yellen is, you better start paying attention. Here's the video. Start there, guys. I'll talk to you soon.